Alright, we're going to be changing a sink. We've already got the sink out. Here's the new one. Already put the faucet on. See, it's not too hard to do. Most of them just go right in there. Tighten these things up pretty tight. Keep your faucet square. Line up the back of it. Not a lot to it. Over here is the stuff you're gonna need to do this. A 1.5" continuous waste center outlet. Could be 1.25 inches. 1.5 1.5" master S-trap. Caulking gun. Silicone. Straight screwdriver. For these, which hold the sink in. Some of them, these happen to have a straight. Sometimes they're Phillips, sometimes they look totally different. That's an extra piece, and a utility knife. Now when you're putting the silicone on, you need to put a pretty good bead on it, because sometimes these things are sometimes beveled, or the sink itself can sometimes be beveled. You want to make sure you have enough silicone to seal that gap. If it's not thick enough, it's going to leak. Try to do this with one hand, holding the phone with the other hand. We'll see how it turns out. Don't want to fall off down in there. Stuff can be pretty messy. You do not want to make a big mess of it in the sink. If you do, sometimes it's just best to let it dry, come back, wipe it off later. Sure, I'll have to do that. Now you just take the basket, try to drop it in, not let the silicone squirt out the sides. A little bit coming out on the edges, if you can see that. And that's about it. Do the same thing for the other one. Now when it comes to putting the strainer basket in, if you forget where they go when you take them apart like I just did, they have a handy dandy little piece of paper with it that tells you what to do. It goes up under here and locks in. Well, our problem is this is in the way. So I put the sink back in. I made a mark. I'm going to use a drill and drill down enough to allow that to catch in there. You might not have the same problem. You don't want to drill down too far. You'll be able to see it from underneath the cabinet. Just enough to get that thing to catch. Latch in there, hopefully. It's better to have 2. They only sent 12 to do the whole sink, 3 per side. So we get 1 in the middle and hopefully it does the trick. This thing's got a big bow in the middle. They're never straight. They always come warped one way or the other. Anyway. Take a pencil and lightly, very lightly, make a few reference marks around the sink. Just one in the middle, maybe one on the edge. Couple over here. they'll wipe off. And you're going to take the sink back out once again. And you got to keep it pretty much right on the edge, but I still have to make the lines because it lets you know every so often, you know, that you can't get outside of that line. Alright, and you lay the sink back in the hole, hopefully for the last time. That notch we made earlier to get our thing in there, I had to wind up drilling part of it out in the back. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, you have to drill out a little bit to be able to tighten it. I think it's gonna work. Just start all of them on there, stick them in, one in the middle, two on the ends, at least in this case. Tighten them down. I'm using a drill and a bit for it. It can be kind of hard to get a screwdriver up in there, but if that's all you have, that's all you have. Tighten those all up. Alright, now this might not even be a problem for you, but where that was sticking over and I made that notch, I wasn't able to pull it all the way down. So what I did was I went underneath and I drove a screwdriver up under the clip, and hopefully the caulking should hold it down. If it doesn't, I'll just make a little wedge, drive up under there. Hopefully I don't forget the screwdrivers in there. Alright, that's got the sink mounted. Now, it's time for the drain. Oh yeah, if you didn't tighten your strainer cups earlier, or strainer bowls, when they were baskets, then now would be a good time to do that. If you have a big pair of channel locks, that works, or just use a hammer and a screwdriver. Couple wax. Couple of wax. Silicone should do its job. And there you go. Bob's your own. Now, here comes this one. First, you're going to want to attach your supply lines. Alright. When it comes to the drain, you just take this off, this, put it inside of there, take this rubber washer, put it on there, stick it up here. It's easy to get these things crusted, I guess, where this is plastic, that's metal. Doesn't always want to do right, just like this one. Right now. Snug it up pretty good. You don't have to use channel locks or anything on these usually. The other side, put it together. Bevel in. Should look like that when you're done. Next part. The Master S-Trap. It should just be a P-trap, but the distance from this to this is too long, so we have to have a double dilly there. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to use those in all parts of the country. We can here in the great state of Tennessee. If you run into this situation with the gap in the sink and you don't have the option, or you cannot get the clip in to use a screwdriver, you can take a C-clamp, put some cardboard to protect the surface of the sink, make sure you got plenty of silicone in there, clamp it down, leave it 24 hours, come back, hopefully it will hold.